Saeguso is from Japan, and I think he's probably the process to work in the company. So he's talking on neuroscientific investigation into enlightenment, sadhana, and shakti path. So Dr. Hidehiko, we would like you to introduce yourself instead of we introducing you. So that's what we have adopted here now. Thank you. Please.
Hello, my name is Hidehiko Saeguso from Japan. I'm from Arizona University Center for Consciousness Study and Center for Buddhist Study. I have to apologize because Center for Buddhist Study is dealing with all sorts of Eastern thought, including Indian knowledge system. But the name is Buddhist, I have to apologize, Buddhist Center for Buddhist Study. And we are making a building. This building is the world's largest Asian study institution outside Asia. So it's going to be a very big one. And I'd like to collaborate with many universities, digitalizing the sacred texts because before it diminishes or before it disappears, because many of them are written on palm leaves and it's going to fade away. I really like to preserve our ancient wisdoms, and I think it's such a treasure for human beings because many things are exactly the same as the latest scientific discovery. We were so surprised. So any kind of scientists could benefit from the Indian sacred texts. And I have studied IKS in India for 15 years. Every day. Altogether, I lived in India 15 years. Then every day I practice intense sadhana for 15 years. On my 10th year, I reached immense awakening. And so I'm going to talk about neuroscientific investigation into enlightenment, sadhana, and shakti. This is the way I belong. Arizona University Center for Consciousness Studies and Center for Buddhist Studies. So I gave a workshop like this with many people. This was last year, November, 180 participants, 6 hours workshop on Shakti. I transmit through many kinds of ways to the 180 participants, and about 80% of the participants had a very deep glimpse of awakening in samadhi. And this is from my workshop in Japan. I do these kind of workshops regularly, and this is a slide from my experiment on my transmit Shakti path in Tokyo University. First, they checked my brain waves. It was completely different from the other. My brain waves were dominantly delta, which is very worrying. And also, so Dr. Hamro visited the university few times, and he gave me guidance. And I tried Shakti path, and he had experience, and I was able to dramatically change the person's brain waves. Synchronize. This is a picture, from the first, we did an experiment in Tokyo University this summer. Right from the beginning, the amazing result. It was very successful. We were celebrating together with a professor in Tokyo University and my friend. The left slide is my brainwave during my transmission, which is marked on red is my brainwave. I can stop all other activities in my brain, and only delta waves comes out. Delta waves in latest scientific research is deeply related to awakening and samadhi experience. And my research is also, I have written scientifically proven shortest way to reach eternal and complete happiness, which applicable to all the human beings, is urgently needed. Because, so many depression patients all over the world. In America, 1 out of 4 person is taking antidepressant. In Japan, 1 out of 7 people, but the more serious problem in Japan, about 1 to 2 million are refusing to come out from their small room and not working, not doing anything. And government we have to take care of them. So it's a big problem. And in America, in 2018, $309 billion is estimated to have been wasted only because of the depression. So depression and mental issue is an urgently we need to solve these problems. And I found the solution from the IKS. So this is a map of awakened consciousness. It's very difficult to read. I made it from number 1 to 11. The happiness degrees and well-being degree from 1 to 11. This is the progress of spiritual progress of sadhana. First is the beginning of sadhana, and length of breathing is 2 to 5 seconds. And probably they cannot meditate, even though they try to sit silently. So many inner chatterings and negative emotions come up. So they won't be able to do any kind of meditation or suffering. So they need some healings. And I have written mental condition, depression, and mental issue, and they cannot adapt to society well. And many problems. And when I went to India, I was number 1 because I had urgent problems in my life. So I had to go there when I was 22. Usually, when you are 22, you start to work. But instead of working, I had to go to India and engage myself every day into intense spiritual practice. And I made number 11 the final goal of spiritual practice. I have written this in just 2 sentences. Total unconditional love and total relaxation. And I will explain. Number 2, breathing is 5 to 10 seconds, and they could start meditate. It took me 1 year to reach this number 2 in a lot of spiritual practice. And they can meditate, but they still have a medium type of depression and mental issue. And it's still getting better, but still they have a problem. And number 3, breathing is 10 to 15 seconds. I call this is the breathing, natural breathing during meditation. 1 set of breathing. Inhale and exhale, I count as 1. When the breathing becomes 10 to 15 seconds, they will feel full in meditation. And they still sometimes get depressed, but can adapt very well to the society. I'm collaborating with this study with 4 hospitals and 1 mental university and 2 universities. So I'm getting many results and feedback from those hospitals. And mental hospital, all the patients were number 1. And the pain clinic, they check the patient's breathing. It was all number 1, below 5 seconds. So if we could make them from number 1 to 2, it could be solved. So actually, this is a map of Kundalini awakening. When the Kundalini awakens and go to the final result, and I have traveled through number 1 to 10 myself, and beyond number 6 is a dimension of the Indian saints or enlightenment. Because I stayed with 20 saints, and I found one thing they have similar, one thing in common. Their breathing for more than 30 seconds. None of them had a shallow. So that's my hypothesis is when your breathing is more than 30 seconds, you will be enlightened. The passage of Kundalini, because number 6, your spine will be, half the tension will be disappeared. So naturally, the energy rises from first chapter, 6 and 7. Then you will get enlightened. And I will explain about number 4. Breathing is 15 to 20 seconds. In Japan, 7 high priests, monks, their breathing is 15 seconds after many years of practice. So this is very long breathing. And they could start to feel bliss during the meditation. And they rarely get depressed and can adapt very well to the society. And from number 5 is 20 to 25 seconds. And they're going to be overwhelmed by this meditation and can adapt very, very well to the society. And number 6 is 25 to 30 seconds. This going to start to continuously 24 hours a day. And effort and action brings much more result than expected. And their luck will be always good luck. And this is where the extraordinary ability starts to come up. Because I spend with 20 saints, they all have the ability, extraordinary ability that nobody usually have, such as being mind, being very high access, very supernatural. And this chart indicates the activation of the brain function. Number 7 is 30 to 35 seconds. And all these things happen and get an amazing result. Always very good luck, extraordinary ability becomes firm. Number 8, 30 to 35 to 40 seconds. Number 9 is 40 to 45 seconds. Almost everything you desire will be filled. What you think immediately gets fulfilled. Okay. Number 10, this is where I am fulfilled, always super good luck, extraordinary ability, which is close to maximum potential. And 11 is the final goal, unconditional and total realization. I think the time is up, so I'd like to end my presentation. Is there any question?
I have two comments, Professor Hidehiko.
Yes.
You rightly said the Buddhist culture is, of course, no, it's an Indian knowledge system.
Actually, can you say again? What is the first word you said? Buddhist center is also Indian knowledge system.
Buddhism is a part of the Indian knowledge
Yes,
system.
it is.
So it is all well integrated in the Indian knowledge system, and we
Yes.
have long traditions existing in India and abroad
Yes.
in the Buddhist knowledge.
Yes.
And as regards the meditation, the meditation has always been difficult. And there has been statement that this age, at this age, in this time,
Yes.
doing the meditation as a part of yoga sadhana
Yes.
is really difficult.
Yes.
So I think as a part of the IPS study, the Institute for Science and Technology, they are going to take up a study on the active meditation and the passive meditation. What we talk, we say it's a passive meditation.
Yes.
So active meditation, we say when we chant and we dance like that. So the ISKCON movement is promoting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra chanting and especially the congregational chanting.
Yes.
So it's very nice presentation, Dr. Hidehiko, and we thank you. If no more question is there, then we can go to this because most of the presentations thereafter is online. Almost all presentations thereafter is online. So I hope that online is fine now. So thank you, Professor.